Today on What's Next.
Feelings need to come out. They need to come out. Otherwise, they get stuck. If feelings don't come out our mouths, they come out our bodies.
When we're talking about transcendental meditation or meditation, we're just talking about accessing a level of quiet and calm that every human being already has.
Really embracing a positive stress mindset can help us be like the lion, can help us approach stressors with this really positive attitude that our body's listening to.
Hello and welcome to Growing Boulder's What's Next. And today we're going to take a quick mental health checkup because, let's face it, we all need one. It is crazy out there. All you have to do is watch the evening news. I think it's the impact of social media, the economic impact of the pandemic, and of course the normal challenges of aging. They've all conspired to lead to an increase in stress, anxiety, and depression. And unfortunately, a fear of judgment keeps many of us from simply asking for help. But when we do talk about mental health issues, we learn that we're not alone in our struggle, and there really is no shame at all in asking for help. So let's talk about it today. I'm Mark Middleton, joined today by three smiling faces: Bill Schaefer, Cecily Wilson, and Amy Sweezy. And Bill, I know you met recently with a special group that's working to overcome this mental health stigma. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Mark, this really is a great topic because, as you say, a lot of us are smiling on the outside, but sometimes only on the outside. Mental health is a huge issue these days, and there's an organization in the villages that may be showing us a way to bring care to anyone who needs it affordably or even for free. It's TLC, Transition Life Consultants, and they're proving it can be done and that it very well could be retirement age professionals who are leading the way. Here's their story.
This is an age where bad things happen to people. People get hurt emotionally. Painful things happen to people. And I looked in our phone book, and I could not find one psychiatrist, one psychologist, or one psychotherapist. Like there was nothing available. And I knew in my heart and my gut that I was being called to start something. I knew that.
What Pat Hayes, a lifelong licensed clinical social worker, started was TLC Services, Transition Life Consultants. Because even if you can find a mental health counselor, many of us won't because of the stigma and because
you'd pay an awful lot of money, if you had good insurance. And from what we've heard, everybody that is available now, there have been more people come in. It's like a 4 to 6 month waiting list to get to see anybody.
The TLC difference is the costs are covered by philanthropic organizations like the United Way, and the staff is made up of retired mental health professionals who also see the need and step up to offer their skills and services at no charge.
This gives me a reason for still being able to care for people, a reason to get up and help people. And I didn't have to stop doing what I love doing before I retired.
There's something kind of neat about giving something back. And money was important when my kids wanted to go to college. But now money is not that important, as long as I think anyone has enough. And they want to come in and do this kind of work because of their educational background. It gives real meaning to a person's life, and that's worth more than money, in my opinion.
We only have so much time left. And if I'm not happy, if I'm feeling stressed, if I'm feeling depressed, I don't want to live the rest of my life that way.
Everybody has feelings, right? Feelings need to come out. They need to come out. Otherwise, they get stuck. Need to come out. Now, if feelings don't come out our mouths, they come out our bodies. Sometimes they come out with headaches. Sometimes they come out in our knees. Sometimes they come out with pains in our back. Sometimes they come out with a broken shoulder. And lots of times when you have those things, say, what is my body telling me that I haven't been able to say? Let's talk about that. See?
What is the main point you hope we get across?
That it's possible, that there are wonderful people around who can help, and there are loads and loads of people who need us. And we've got the skills and the love and the caring to help people.
Well, you heard it from Pat Hayes. Those emotions do need to come out. You can try to hold them in, but they just don't stay there. They come out of stress and insomnia and all different kinds of harmful ways. So how much better would it be if we were comfortable enough to go in for occasional mental health tune-ups instead of waiting until we lose it, can't function anymore, and then end up making smaller issues into larger ones? Are we ever going to get to that point, Amy?
Man, I hope so, Bill. I think pride, gets in the way so often. The baby boomers were raised by people who'd been through World War II. The Gen Xers were raised by Vietnam vets. And so we were told, you buckle down and you do it and you don't complain and you don't let anybody know if you're really hurting on the inside. And so I think we have come a long way. I love that, but I do still think there's a stigma that we have to get past.
Yeah, I agree with that, Amy. There's a lot of just get over it advice out there. There's nothing really wrong with you. But this is the good news. The good development is that medical technology is now helping, because brain scans actually clearly now show the chemical and the hormonal changes that affect our brain health. We can finally see it. And when the conversation changes from mental health to brain health, we finally get it. We understand that our brains can dysfunction just like every other organ in our body. So, if you're limping, an MRI confirms a torn ACL. And now if you're depressed, a brain scan will actually confirm a chemical imbalance. You're not crazy, you're human.
Yeah, I would say that, and that stigma is still there. I know from a Black perspective, I know in my community, we hardly ever talked about mental health. We didn't, you prayed about it, you just kind of got over it, you didn't talk about it. And she said it in the very beginning of this piece. We've got to talk about it, get it out, because it's only tormenting the inside of you, and it comes out, as she said, in anger and self-doubt. So it really is important for us to just talk about it.
Wouldn't it be great if a mental health checkup was part of your annual physical? So it's taken out of your hands, you're just going in every year. We all need, we need these little tune-ups. You shouldn't wait until we're broken or something like that to go in and just have a mental health checkup. So that would be an awesome way to handle, at least take a step forward into one of the biggest problems facing our country today.
Every human being, by virtue of being human, has a level deep within now, right now, where the mind is calm and steady and clear and alert. Like an ocean has choppy waves on the surface, but is silent at its depth.
Every moment is once in a lifetime. I love that. But when we can't be together, it's hard to share those moments. That was before I found an easy way for Mom to connect with us. Oh, the memories. Their first date, to summers at the lake, to ball games, to birthdays, it's all shared with her grandpa. And that brings me happy tears. Mom, were your ears burning?
Oh, you know they were.
Did you get the pictures that Shelby sent you?
I did, and I felt like I was right there with you.
Life is about transitions, and there is an art and a science to navigating them. They're about shedding what matters least so we can focus on what matters most. And that's why Growing Bolder is thrilled to partner with Caring Transitions, the nation's most trusted total solutions provider for seniors in these times. Whether it's home cleanouts, downsizing, relocation, estate sales, and so much more, one call handles it all. To get started with a free consultation, visit caringtransitions.com. Welcome back to What's Next, as we continue to focus today on the importance of our mental health. And one strategy to relieve stress that has helped millions worldwide is transcendental meditation, or TM. And of course, many of us heard about it way back in the 60s, but it is actually more popular than ever today, primarily because it's easy, anybody can do it, and science has now proven that it actually works. It reduces anxiety, it relaxes the body, it quiets the mind. And I recently spoke with Bob Roth to learn more. Now, Bob is the Michael Jordan of TM. He is the GOAT. Over the past 50 years, he's taught TM to industry leaders, to Hollywood celebrities, to government and military organizations, to disadvantaged youth, and to ordinary people like you and me.
We're just talking about accessing a level of quiet and calm that every human being already has deep within the mind. That's an important point. It's not something we have to believe in, fabricate, visualize. The hypothesis is, Mark, is that every human being, by virtue of being human, has a level deep within now, right now, where the mind is calm and steady and clear and alert. Like an ocean has choppy waves on the surface, but is silent at its depth. Transcendental meditation says thoughts, all that stuff on the surface of the ocean, are on the surface of the ocean. But the ocean has this vertical dimension. And deep within the ocean is, as I said, a level where the ocean is by its nature calm, settled, analogous to the mind. Surface of the mind, as I said, is that turbulent, so much going on in our life, so much pressure. We're worried about our son or daughter or mother or grandmother or something at work, my job, this, that. All. Plus, there's that internal questions we have. I've got all this success. I'm not enjoying it. I'm too stressed, anxious to enjoy my family, to enjoy the work I've done. So transcendental meditation is a technique that just gives effortless access to that innermost calm level of the mind.
What does research show? How does it impact either our psychological or our physiological well-being?
What they find is that during this simple little 15, 20-minute process, your body gains a state of rest, in many regards, Mark, deeper than what you get after 5.5 or 6 hours of sleep. Cortisol is a stress hormone. That's when we're anxious. We need a little bit of cortisol to get up in the morning, but we make it in just gallons, too much. Modern life. Cortisol levels weaken the immune system. So if a person is stressed, then they get sick more often. It also floods the hippocampus in the brain, so we can't think as well. And over time, it leads to cognitive difficulties. A good night's sleep will drop cortisol levels by 10%. 20 minutes of transcendental meditation drops cortisol levels by 30 to 40%. And nothing else does that.
Wow, Mark, that's an interesting conversation. So I want to know, why do you think transcendental meditation or meditation of any kind is such an important topic right now? It makes you wonder if we really know ways to really reach that deeper, quiet part of our mind, right?
Apparently it's easier than most of us think that it is. The notion that we can quickly and effortlessly drop below the chaos into our own quiet space is increasingly appealing, certainly is to me. I believe that meditation of some sort should be part of a growing bolder lifestyle, because we talk so much about seizing the opportunity of aging, about extracting joy from every moment, about taking responsibility for our own health and well-being. And sometimes I think that the most important action we can take, at least according to Bob Roth, is to take no action at all.
Really embracing a positive stress mindset can help us be like the lion, can help us approach stressors with this really positive attitude that our body's listening to.
We're not made to withdraw from life. We're made to seize each moment and to value every breath. We're made to be bold, to take risks, and pursue our passions. Don't identify with limitation. Embrace possibility. Stop growing older. Start growing bolder. Find your what's next at growingbolder.com.
Welcome back to What's Next. I'm Bill Schaefer. And when we're dealing with illness or disease, one of the biggest problems is there aren't always warning signs. Sometimes there aren't any symptoms at all until it's too late. But with mental health, it's a little bit different. There's a symptom that we all feel right away: stress. What is it telling us when we feel stressed? What's normal? And what are the signs that it isn't? Dr. Alyssa Apple is one of the foremost experts on stress. Her book is The Stress Prescription, and it's a prescription every one of us needs to be taking.
We're way out of line as a society. More than half the population feels overwhelmed by stress. That's more than bad. Stress is the precursor to depression, anxiety disorders, and all the health problems that we suffer from when we get older. It brings them on earlier. So it's serious. So mindset, looking at our negative stress mindset, our negative beliefs about stress, and really embracing a positive stress mindset can help us be like the lion, can help us approach stressors with this really positive attitude that our body's listening to. And we can have a more adaptive stress response, a big rush of adrenaline and a big quick recovery. And that's in contrast to like when we're really telling ourselves we are not up for this, we are going to fail, catastrophic things are going to happen. Our body listens to that and creates a more threat response. High cortisol, really, a vasoconstrictive response. It's harder to recover from that.
It really is a different way to think about it, isn't it? Instead of being back on our heels and waiting for the worst like the prey, instead live with intent, on our toes, moving forward like the lion. So let's apply that and see if it works. And since obviously I have no mental health issues at all, let's have one of you name something that causes you stress and talk about how to face it with the mindset, not of the prey, but of the lion. Cecily, let's start with you.
I do know that when those times come to play, I use this phrase, you cannot conquer what you won't confront. So if you don't confront it, then it's always going to be there. Don't put your head in the sand like it's the ostrich approach. You've really got to go at it and say, girl, come on, you've got this, you can do it. And so I just go in. Even though I'm afraid, do it afraid. Do it afraid.
That's great. Cecily, that's a great pep talk. Right now I'm in the stage of life where I have 3 teenagers. So I love my children, but they can be very stressful for those of you who have kids and know just all the things that go into parenting teenagers. So what I do is I literally talk to myself out loud. And I do the whole, okay, Amy, what do you have to be thankful for in this situation? What can you learn from this situation? So I know practicing gratitude has become kind of a buzzword lately, but it is so important for me when you just feel completely overwhelmed to try to turn it around and just say, okay, what can I learn from this?
Amy, breaking news, it doesn't get any easier when your kids get older. But that said, I do love the prey-predator analogy, but that alone causes me stress because I do believe that I got to be in attack mode. You can't wait for things to happen. And I think that our good friend Banana George said it best when he told us back at the age of 93, I don't wait for the next thing to happen, I make it happen. And I think that if we don't operate with intent, we get pushed around. Circumstances that have absolutely nothing to do with us will in fact control our lives. So yeah, I want to be in attack mode, but that gives me stress.
Yeah, I love that point, Mark, and if I can pick up on top of that, I think part of what she's saying is that we tend to ignore the stress, right? We turn away from it, sometimes cower away from it. And her point is if we stand up tall, look it right in the eye, as Cecily was saying, that's the best way to handle it before it can become bigger and take over us.
I think the bottom line, folks, is we have to stop thinking that we have to be Superman or Wonder Woman. We all struggle with multiple issues, and suffering in silence is only going to make them worse. Our bold social clip this week is from an interview that I did with Margaret Trudeau, the former First Lady of Canada. She suffered from bipolar disorder for more than 40 years before she got help. She's now a mental health advocate whose message is very simple and direct.
My strongest message is that no matter how smart you are, how educated you are, what a wonderful family you come from, what opportunities you've had, you cannot get yourself out of a mental illness. You can't fix it. It is wrong thinking. It is impaired insight. You have to turn it over to someone. You have to reach out for help. So the best thing you can do for yourself is to reach out for help.
You're likely to be faced with helping a loved one through a life transition, and Caring Transitions can partner with you during this time. We offer a customized approach to each individual for downsizing, home cleanouts, estate sales, online auctions, and more. With more than 280 locations nationwide, our experts are here to provide compassionate care and help you manage it all. Learn more with a free consultation at caringtransitions.com.
Every moment is once in a lifetime. I love that. But when we can't be together, it's hard to share those moments. That was before I found an easy way for Mom to connect with us. Oh, the memories. Their first date, to summers at the lake, to ball games, to birthdays. It's all shared with her grandpa. And that brings me happy tears. Mom, were your ears burning?
Oh, you know they were.
Did you get the pictures that Shelby sent you?
I did, and I felt like I was right there with you.
Welcome back to What's Next. It is time now for Your Take, where we ask our more than 1 million followers on Facebook to weigh in on a question of the week. And then we discuss it, of course, right here on the show. So this week we asked, what is one activity that you do that benefits your mental health? We got so many responses that involve just getting outdoors, like Linda, who loves being by the water. Karen gets wind therapy from riding her motorcycle, and Kit loves to walk in nature. Ken, Judy, and Danielle relax by listening to music, which was another really popular answer. And Karen says that she volunteers at a nonprofit helping the homeless and low-income families. That helps her refocus away from just her own needs and dwell in fellowship. So guys, for me, I'm gonna go with reading. I love reading a novel, something that just kind of takes me away from reality, and I get bonus points if I can read while in nature. So by nature, I mean sitting by my pool or sitting at the beach. Phil, what about you?
That's a great one. I want to add to that listening to music thing and plus it up to say playing music. Even if you're just tapping to the drums on your desk, when you start listening to the patterns and trying to copy what you're hearing, it pushes all those bad thoughts, it pushes everything else out of your mind. You're concentrating on the music and it's getting good to you and you're going, hey, maybe I can do this.
I promise you, as unconventional as this may sound, I literally get the best therapy when I just go walk the mall and shop. And sometimes I'm not actually buying things, I'm looking window retail therapy. It really does calm my mind, even when I'm upset, when I'm angry, when I'm hurting. I literally just go to the mall. And it works. I don't know what it is about it, but it works.
And who was it, Amy? Was it Linda who said she has to be by the water? I got to be in the water. A long swim or a short run will cure whatever ails me. And this show is all about the opportunity for a what's next in our lives. But sadly, many of us do get to the point where we can't even imagine a what's next. And as we've learned today, we just can't fix ourselves. We all need help. So talk to your family and friends and remember 988. That is the 3-digit toll-free nationwide phone number to connect directly with the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can do it on a cell phone or a landline. It's a network of over 200 crisis centers with somebody standing by 24/7 to talk to you when you need someone to chat with. So don't be afraid to reach out, and don't be afraid to help others if they need help as well, because we're all in this together.